Hi, and welcome to Bits of Blender. I'm here with my boy Richard.
Hi!
I'm going to be talking about some of the UI interface elements today. If you ever took a look at Blender's buttons, you may notice, gosh, some of them here are like this orangish color, and some are green. And, well, what's the difference? Well, the orange buttons are buttons that you click once and they do something. So, for example, I'm going to get rid of that and throw in a UV sphere. I'll zoom in a little bit. And if you click Set Smooth, you'll see it does that business, or Set Solid. You click the button once and it does something. Now, the green buttons here are toggle buttons. In this case, the toggles are usually two states, on and off. So Auto Smooth is off right now. I can click it here, and now it's on. Two states. There are also three-state toggle buttons. So I'm going to go ahead and add a new material, add a texture, and go over to the Map to buttons, where I can show you the toggle buttons that have three states. So for example, I can click alpha, so then the alpha is on for this. Click alpha again, and it inverts it, because this is like would be a texture map, and then click it a third time and it's off. So the green buttons are toggle buttons, and they can be two or three state buttons. Now, Blender also has an interesting UI element is what they call the spinner, and that's these fields like this where you've got a little arrow on each end. Now, of course, you can click the arrow, but you can also, when I'm clicking, I'm left clicking. You can also left click and drag across this to slide this, or I suppose spin it.
Yeah.
And one of the things, I'm still holding it, I can hold the control key, and notice now it's going in increments of 10.
Mm-hmm. And also you can click inside the box and just type it in.
And, hold on, and I'm still holding it down. If I hold the shift key down, it changes those increments a little bit slower. See, I'm going back and forth here, and it's only changing about 5 by holding the shift key down. If I look over the shift key, look at that, changing back and forth, it's about 50. And if I hold the control key, it moves in increments of even 10. And as Richard said, you can click in this. In this case, on this one, sometimes it's hard to click like that, right? To get to the number so you can change the value.
Mm-hmm.
Hit enter when you're done. And what you can do to make it easier to get the right spot is hold the shift key and click. And then, it doesn't matter, even if I'm over an arrow, if I hold shift key and click, I can enter data.
Mm-hmm.
Now, the spinners are even more interesting when you're looking at something that has a decimal point in it. So for example, if I left click and drag, you can see how much that's moving. And this is where holding the shift key is nice. You can slow it down. Holding the control key, look at those going in increments, or shift and control. So control was doing it in this case, tenths of a point for this one.
Can you change the increments?
No, the control and shift are fixed.
Oh.
So right now I'm holding shift and control to move hundredths, and just plain shift to move it slowly in this case in the thousands. And if I let go of all the buttons, it moves very rapidly. Now, there's also these sliders that work similar to spinners, except that we don't have these little arrows. You can just click and drag these guys. And it's important to know that I can hold the shift key to drag it slower. I can hold the control key to move it in increments of 1 here. And I can hold it in shift and control to move it in increments of like a tenth. And I can shift click on here to change the value of the number.
Just like the spinner, only it's a slide thing.
Yeah, it's a slider.
Slider.
I'm not really sure when they decide to use one versus the other, actually, though. And then there's also drop-down menus, like for example here for materials. And sometimes
It's a drop up menu.
yeah, in this case it's dropping up. That's the nice thing about not having to worry about physics. So you click on this little arrow, and you can select different materials. So this is, let's say this is material 1, and I can notice I just clicked on this, and I can change and type it, and then I can go over this material, click in here, material 2, and I can also do add new. What add new does, it's important to note, add new makes a duplicate of your currently selected item. So like in the case of materials, it'll duplicate the currently selected material. And another thing to note is that when you have one of these drop-down lists and it has nothing in the list, then it's a button that you can click to add something new. Otherwise, this add new is really like
A duplicate.
yeah, because it duplicates everything. Just for convenience, that does make your life a lot easier. And the last thing I should mention is, for example, here, this is just a plain old text field that you can just click in and change the value. These are just plain old text fields. And an important thing to note about text fields is that when you're done editing, you can either click away or hit enter. And another thing you can do with text fields is, here, let's switch to something else. Let's call this ball, for example. And notice I hit enter. I can do, without clicking in it, I can do Control-C to copy, roll over here, and notice it gets highlighted a little bit, and Control-V to paste.
Ooh.
Alternatively, let's see if I call this baseball. I could, when I have it selected, do Control-Shift-C to copy, and then click in here, Control-Shift-V to paste. So really, oftentimes, it depends on whether you've got it highlighted or not, whether you can do Control-C, just roll your mouse over there, you know that you've got it active, Control-C, then roll your mouse over here, Control-V. And you can do that between the various fields. All right.
I think we're pretty much wrapping up.
That's it. Thanks a lot.
Bye!